right, so now let's start off with some examples. The first one here is label a diagram. So you can use drawings to simply put a picture in and label parts of something in that picture, like you see here for this sandwich. Or it could be something like a graphic that's very detailed, and you might have lots of different areas to point out. And then maybe you even put some text on the side so somebody can actually drag the items over. Let's look at another example. Practice and quizzes. So for instance, here's the periodic table. They could use it to look at it, so the whole graphics are there, but maybe there's things that they can do where they move items in and out of there, inside of it. Maybe they place certain things in the correct spot based on what's given. You can put anything on the outside, just like you do here, just putting them on the outside. And so it's like a self-checker for them. You're going to see more as we go through how to do that, but I want to just give you some examples. All right, there's the idea of just having translucency, which means I have these two circles, but by combining them and having some transparency in between, it makes a different color automatically when these two are layered over top of each other. You can label with text. You can even put directions on the outside. That's what's great about drawings as opposed to slides or anything like that, is you have that area outside of the canvas. And so you can put boxes so they can drag and drop. Simple Venn diagram there. Or something as simple as this. Maybe it's stories from a book, or pictures from a book. And you can see the pictures can be moved in and out in different areas. And they can resize them, of course, too, if they need to fit. But that way you have some sort of order and some sort of directions and some sort of thought process for the students. And it's not just, this is the right answer. It's kind of some thoughts. So Venn diagrams are perfect for that. Character traits. Again, just put a character in there and type in words that might signify that character. You could even make them into character cards if you have it in a certain shape. Or here's two characters side by side, being able to compare them and things. Maybe you have them talk specifically about something that happened in the story and put a picture in there or describe it. So really it's up to you, but it's an easy way to kind of organize those things. Manipulatives. There's lots of great tools and uses for that because of all the shapes, but here's a simple one. You just have this background here, so notice there's text, this is a blue background, there's directions, and then these items are all clickable and changeable. So they can change these numbers, and then this red actually slides because all it is really just a rectangle. So as we're looking through these examples, I want you to start seeing some of the ways that they're actually put together. It looks great, and things that look awesome on here because somebody's already created them, but you can create these too. Let's look at another one. So just using for math. So again, we're using that transparency. So the red is moved over to the yellow, and now they're turning orange. So it's going to help us understand visually what's going on. Same thing here. If you have problems set up, you could have them use manipulatives to help them figure it out. And then there's also algebra tiles too, and that's just a link to have your own slide. And as you remember throughout, I told you any of these slides themselves are linkable to a slide to have this exact slide on your own or the link of how to do it. Collaborative problem solving. So having a bunch of different blocks here, and these are kind of more the algebra tiles in itself, and then having students work together because drawings allows people to, just like docs and sheets and sites, all to be working together at the same time. So a group of students could be working together to solve things and moving different items around in real time. Identifying similarities and differences. Putting two items up there, putting a simple line here and another line, and then they just drag over the different areas. Now, if you don't have your already made kind of text boxes, so this would be almost like a differentiation, you could have open text boxes, and so then they could just click and type in their own categories, or maybe have a couple blank ones so they can add their own. Categorizing. Again, classifying, categorizing are all kind of the same thing, but here's an example using vocabulary or these countries, deciding where they go. or categorizing these shapes by actually moving the shapes into them. You can do it with terms, vocabulary, all sorts of stuff. Anything to make it visual and kind of more of that thought process happening. And then here, just to think about it, this could be a group activity or it could be individual, whereas you can have this drawing go right into their Google Classroom. So that means each student would get their own copy and they would have to work on it and you would see their individual results. Kind of like a worksheet, but a little bit different. And here's the example right inside of Google, whereas you have the topic, or excuse me, the title, you have the date, and anytime due, you add whatever Google drawing is, and you make sure you make a copy for each student. So make sure it is a Google drawing in your drive, and then of course put it as an assignment, and if you want any other directions in there. So again, nice tools for that, and nice examples. Drawing templates. So there are tons and tons of templates or graphic organizers out there, and on this link right here, you can actually get all of these. There's about 15 or 20 different ones that you can just grab and get, and they're all templates ready for you to use, but you can also change them around. But you can see like KWL charts and evaluation charts, Cornell note-taking, which we'll look at later, character maps, all sorts of things. There's even more here if you want to click on that. All right, making your own seating chart. So having where your students sit is a good way, in color coding them and basically setting it up how your classroom looks. You could even print that out for a sub or just have it available so the students know where they're supposed to be going. So I'm going to stop right here and we're going to take a break and we'll come back and we'll look at some others.